Have you ever asked yourself, when you turn 60, then 65, then 70, who will truly stand by your side? In your younger years, the answer might have felt simple. Family, close friends, the people who have walked beside you for decades. But as time moves forward, life starts to change. People grow apart. Responsibilities shift. Distance appears, sometimes silently. Not because they love you any less, but because life pulls in different directions. So when you truly need support, someone to rely on, who will it be? Today we explore 6 essential pillars that are more reliable than even family in later life. Not to replace your loved ones, but to help you stand tall beside them, not behind them. Let's begin with the first, and often the most underestimated, your financial stability. Pillar 1. Financial stability, your lifetime companion. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it does buy freedom and peace of mind and dignity. Too many people enter their 60s thinking, if something happens, my kids will help me. But will they be able to? They might love you deeply, but they may be drowning in their mortgages, raising their kids, trying to survive just like you once did. Richard, 72, was generous all his life, paid for college, lent money to his children, never said no. Then came the unexpected hospital bill, and his savings vanished overnight. He turned to his kids, but they were barely making ends meet, not because they didn't care, but because they couldn't. Here's the truth. Financial independence isn't about being rich, it's about being ready. Know your monthly income and expenses. Eliminate unnecessary debt. Start or grow an emergency fund. Review your insurance, pension, and savings. You don't need to get rich, you just need to stop being vulnerable. When you have financial stability, you don't need to ask, you choose. And that, after 60, is power. Pillar 2. Physical health. If financial stability gives you freedom of choice, then your physical health gives you the freedom to live. You could have savings, a house, loving children, but if you wake up one day and can't get out of bed on your own, if dressing yourself or taking a shower becomes a challenge, are you truly living or just surviving? This is one pillar no one else can carry for you. Your children can buy your medications, they can drive you to the doctor, but they cannot eat well for you. They cannot exercise for you. They cannot slow aging on your behalf. Physical health is 100% your responsibility. Let's talk about Carl, 68 years old. In his younger days, Carl was active, fit, worked with his hands, walked everywhere. But after retirement, he told himself, I've earned my rest. And so, rest he did. Too much. He sat more, ate whatever, slept irregularly. A few years later, his knees hurt just from standing. He couldn't climb stairs without panting. Simple tasks became exhausting. That's when Carl realized, I let my body fall apart and didn't even notice. But here's the good news. He didn't give up. He started small. 10-minute walks around the block, cut back on sugar and fried foods, stretched in the morning, drank more water. 6 months later, he wasn't just healthier, he was proud of himself again. The lesson is clear. You don't need six-pack abs, you don't need to run marathons. You just need to be strong enough to live independently, to move freely, to care for yourself, to walk with dignity. Even small steps make a big difference. Here are a few ways to start today. Walk 15 to 30 minutes daily. If you can't, at least stand and stretch every 30 minutes. Eat more greens. Cut back on sugar, processed foods. Sleep regularly. Stay hydrated. Schedule your checkups. Don't wait for something to go wrong. Track small health indicators monthly: weight, blood pressure, and sleep hours. Why? Because progress motivates you. Health isn't something you get around to. It's something you prioritize, because once it's gone, it's hard to get back. And the best part is, you are in control. Your body is still listening to you, no matter your age. So speak to it with care, treat it with kindness, and it will carry you through the next chapters of life with strength and grace. Pillar 3. Social connections. There's a quiet feeling many people over 60 experience, a feeling that creeps in slowly. Loneliness, not loud, not dramatic, but silent, persistent. It shows up in quiet afternoons, meals eaten alone, or nights when the phone doesn't ring. It's that sinking realization that your world, your circle, is getting smaller. As we age, our social circles often shrink. Friends move away, loved ones pass on, children get busy chasing their own lives, and without noticing, the people we used to talk to daily become just names we think of once in a while. But here's something few talk about. Loneliness isn't just an emotion, it's a serious health risk. Studies show that social isolation increases the risk of heart disease, depression, cognitive decline, and even early death. Because no matter your age, you still need a connection. To be seen, to be heard, to matter. And yes, family is important. But your children, no matter how loving, cannot be your only source of company. They have jobs, spouses, and responsibilities. You deserve more than just waiting for someone else's schedule to open. This brings us to Pillar 3, a strong, active social circle. Let me tell you about Margaret, 73 years old. She lost her husband, and her 2 sons loved her deeply, but they lived far away. Work, kids, life. They called when they could. But the days between those calls felt long, empty. At first, she just waited for visits, for phone calls, for life to happen. Then one day, she made a simple decision. I'm going to stop waiting and start living. She called an old friend. She joined a knitting group at the local community center. She signed up for a painting class. She even tried yoga for seniors. And you know what? Within weeks, her life was full of laughter, conversations, and new purpose. She didn't wait for a connection. She built it. And so can you. Don't underestimate the power of a short chat, a shared hobby, or a walk with a neighbor. Social connection doesn't mean dozens of friends. It means a few people you can laugh with, confide in, and lean on. A few ways to start. Call one old friend per week. Join a local club. Book, gardening, music, anything you enjoy. Talk to your neighbors. Ask how they're doing. Smile and say hello. It opens more doors than you think. You're not too old to make new friends. In fact, people after 60 often form the most meaningful relationships because there's no judgment, no rush, no pressure, just honesty and presence. A connected life is a stronger life. And friendship, real, honest friendship, is a pillar of support far too many people forget to maintain. So build your circle no matter how small, because the echo of laughter, the warmth of shared stories, and the comfort of knowing someone is there, that's what keeps the soul alive. Pillar 4, purpose. When we're young, life hands us purpose without even asking. We work to raise our children, we care for our parents, we support a household, we serve in our jobs. We are needed, wanted, and called upon. But one day that rhythm changes. You retire, your children grow up. The phone rings less. The house feels quiet, and a whisper appears in your mind. Am I still useful? Why am I waking up each day? What do I do now with all this time? This is where we reach Pillar 4. your sense of purpose. Purpose isn't some grand mission or lifelong dream. It's not about saving the world or building an empire. Purpose can be simple. A reason to wake up, to get dressed, to smile again. It's the quiet feeling that says, I still matter. Let me share the story of George, age 70. He retired after 40 years as an engineer. At first, he was thrilled. Finally! No alarms, no deadlines, no meetings. But within months, that excitement faded. Every day started to feel the same. He sat, ate, watched TV, slept. Something was missing, and he couldn't name it. Then, one day, his grandson brought home a school project that involved building a model bridge. George lit up. He explained physics, structure, and how to test stability. For the first time in months, his eyes sparkled. That small moment led to something bigger. George began volunteering once a week at a local school, teaching basic mechanics and problem solving. And just like that, his days had meaning again. That is purpose. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't need approval. It just needs to make you feel alive. What could your purpose look like now? Growing a garden you've always dreamed of. Writing your life story for your grandchildren. Learning an instrument or a craft. Helping a neighbor. Sharing wisdom through teaching or mentoring. Setting personal goals like walking a 5K, learning a new recipe, or visiting a new place each month. Purpose isn't about doing everything. It's about doing something that speaks to your heart. Questions to help you find purpose. What makes me feel excited, even just a little? What do I love doing, even if no one pays me? What can I offer, from experience, skill, or kindness? Start there. The rest will follow. When you have a purpose, you don't need anyone to push you forward. Your heart pulls you. And you realize that growing older doesn't mean your best days are behind you. It simply means your deepest, most meaningful days are just beginning. Pillar 5. Emotional strength. After 60, life doesn't necessarily get easier. The challenges don't disappear, they just change. You might lose people you love. You might face health concerns, unexpected changes, or long stretches of silence. And sometimes, even with people around, you can feel alone. In those moments, what will hold you up? Not money, not praise, not even the presence of family, because they too have their limits. What keeps you grounded is your emotional strength, your ability to walk through sadness, confusion, even grief, without losing yourself. Let me tell you about Helen, age 75. She was married for 40 years. Her husband passed away quietly after a long illness. Suddenly, everything changed. The house, once full of laughter and shared habits, became painfully quiet. Every corner reminded her of him. Every morning felt heavier. At first, she leaned entirely on her children. They visited often. They called, but life happened. They had jobs, families, and responsibilities. And one day, Helen realized, this pain inside me, no one else can carry it. No one else can heal it. This is mine. So she decided to do something different. She started writing in a journal every evening, just a few lines. She joined a local grief support group. She tried 10 minutes of meditation each morning. She didn't stop feeling sad, but she stopped feeling broken. She was still grieving, but now she was also healing. That's what emotional strength looks like. It's not about pretending you're okay. It's about saying, yes, this hurts, but I can face it. I can walk through it, and I can grow from it. Ways to build emotional strength. Acknowledge your emotions. Don't ignore or suppress them. Name them. Write them down. A simple journal can help you process what you're feeling. Take quiet time for yourself. Even 5-10 minutes a day to reflect or pray. Talk to someone you trust, a friend, therapist, or support group. Speaking is releasing. Practice gratitude. Find 3 small things each day that still bring you comfort. And most importantly, don't confuse needing help with being weak. Asking for support is a strength. You may lose loved ones. You may lose routines. You may even lose parts of who you used to be. But you will never lose your inner strength unless you abandon it. So treat your heart gently. Let it feel. Let it rest. And trust that it knows how to heal. Because in every storm, the person who walks beside you is always you. Pillar 6. Adaptability. Narration style. Uplifting, optimistic, gently encouraging. Like planting new hope. There's one universal truth in life. Everything changes. Friends move, health shifts. The things and people you once depended on might no longer be there. And after 60, these changes often come faster and feel deeper. So, how do you thrive in a life that keeps shifting? With adaptability. This is Pillar 6, and it might just be your greatest hidden strength. Some people resist change. They hold on tightly to the past, to routines, to how things used to be, and slowly they become bitter, withdrawn, disconnected. But others, they stay open, they learn, they stretch, they say, "I'm still growing, I'm not done yet." Those are the ones who flourish. Let me share the story of Frank, 78 years old. He used to meet his friends for coffee every morning, same table, same time, same jokes. But then one friend moved away, another fell ill, another passed on. One day, Frank sat at the cafe alone, and it hit him. I guess this part of life is over. For a while, he felt lost, left behind. But then his grandson taught him how to use Zoom. Frank joined a virtual history group online. He started a little email newsletter sharing his favorite memories and historical facts. He even made new friends, people in their 30s, 50s, 80s, from around the world. He didn't let change defeat him. He adapted and began a whole new chapter. So how can you become more adaptable too? Stay curious, try new things, be open to technology, ideas, and people. Reframe obstacles. Ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of why me? Start small. Try a new food. Rearrange a room. Use a new app. Change builds like muscle, little by little. Challenge fixed beliefs. Instead of saying, "I'm too old for this," say, "This could be interesting." Celebrate progress. Every time you adapt, remind yourself, "I'm stronger than I thought." The people who thrive after 60 aren't necessarily the wealthiest or the most supported. They're the ones who say, "Even now, I can learn. Even now, I can change. Even now, I still have chapters left to write." Don't let fear of change keep you stuck in yesterday. Let the future, with all its surprises, remind you that you're still growing, still creating, still becoming. Because adaptability isn't giving in, it's growing forward. So far, we've explored 6 powerful pillars that support your life after 60. Financial stability, physical health, social connection, sense of purpose, emotional strength, and adaptability. Each one is powerful on its own, but they don't stand alone. Think of them as the pillars of a house. One may hold up a wall, but it takes all 6 to keep the whole home standing. When they work together, they create something greater than the sum of their parts. A life that is not just stable, but fulfilling. Not just protected, but joyful. Not just surviving, but thriving. Let's take a closer look. Financial stability allows you to choose how you live without fear or dependence. Good health gives you the energy and freedom to pursue what matters. A strong social circle keeps your spirit lifted and your mind engaged. Purpose fills your life with meaning. It fuels your motivation, even on quiet days. Emotional strength gives you the inner armor to face loss, change, and uncertainty. And adaptability helps you adjust, grow, and bloom. No matter what life throws at you, when these pillars are aligned, you don't just cope with aging, you embrace it. Here's how they connect. Your emotional resilience makes it easier to adapt to health changes. A strong social network enhances your mental and emotional strength. Having a sense of purpose encourages you to maintain your physical health. And when you're financially secure, you can choose to engage more with community, hobbies, or learning without stress. See the pattern? They feed into one another, forming a kind of self-sustaining support system where even if one pillar weakens for a while, the others help hold you steady. What does this mean for you? It means you don't have to fix everything at once. You can start with the pillar that feels most accessible today and build outward from there. Maybe that's walking a little more, or calling an old friend, or reviewing your monthly expenses, or writing down what brings you joy. Whatever it is, start. Because one small shift often leads to another. A strong, fulfilling life after 60 isn't an accident. It's built thoughtfully, patiently, and intentionally. And the best part? It's never too late to start. You don't need perfection. You don't need youth. You just need one decision. I will invest in myself, starting now. Let your 6 pillars grow stronger day by day, and you'll find that aging doesn't take away your power. It simply invites you to use it wisely. So now, after everything we've explored together, I invite you to take just 5 quiet minutes today. Sit down, breathe deeply, and write down your answers to these 3 simple questions. Which pillar am I already strong in? Which pillar have I been neglecting? What is one small action I can take, starting today? That's how change begins, not in giant leaps, but in small, steady steps. And if this video meant something to you, even just one sentence, one reminder, I invite you to share that with me. Leave a comment below. Tell me what stood out. Let me know what pillar you're starting with. Your voice matters. Your story matters. And I read every word with gratitude. If this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Tap the like button. It helps others find this too. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's next. Share this video with someone you care about, someone who might need to hear these words, because sometimes all it takes is a shared video to change a life. Maybe you are the reason someone else begins again. Thank you, truly, for your time, your presence, and your willingness to grow. Aging doesn't take away your value. It doesn't dim your light. It reveals a quieter, deeper power, the kind that only comes with wisdom, experience, and courage. So go forward with strength, build the life you want, and know that your best days may still be ahead. See you in the next video.